we have more security stories for you down the line, but let's talk about what is playing out in Kano State. Well, a group under the aegis of Open Government Partnership has urged the Kano State Public Complaint and Anti-Corruption Commission to reopen the case in which a former governor of the state appeared to be stuffing dollars in his pocket. Well, the group stated this during a public dialogue at the Kano Institute of Anti-Corruption, where a video, which is in reference that has trended for quite some time, was reviewed and discussed. Now, while some urged the anti-graft agency to reopen the case until its logical conclusion, others believe there are more pressing issues to investigate. So this case has been on for some time now. In fact, 5 years. The video surfaced in 2018 and got a lot of people talking, but it seemed to pipe down a bit. But now it is back in the front burner. So let's get into all of this. What exactly is playing out? We're joined on the program this afternoon by Mr. Muyi Magaji, who is a chairman of Public Complaint and Anti-Corruption Commission in Kano State. He joins us live from our Abuja studio. And just right next to him is Mr. Abdullahi Mohammed, who is Secretary of a Coalition of Northern Civil Society Group. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us on Lunchtime Politics. Let me begin with you, Mr. Magaji. I'd like you to tell us what the outcome of the forensic analysis of the video is. I know you had that meeting, or can I say some sort of dialogue with some CSOs in this state. And don't forget that the former governor had said that that video was doctored. So what did you find out, and just how much of rigor went into your analysis?
Okay, good afternoon. Like you said earlier, yesterday we had a dialogue in Kano organized by Open Government Partnership in conjunction with Kano Anti-Corruption Institute. But just right at what you've said, your introduction, Open Government Partnership is not a coalition of civil society group. It's a program embarked upon by the federal government of Nigeria, where Kano State government, being a subnational government, subscribe to it. It's a program where it brings the citizen group, that is the civil society group, and other citizen groups together with government to work hand in hand to at least provide check and balances in the system. So the Open Government Partnership, which Kano State is a signatory, and the Kano Anti-Corruption Institute organized a dialogue on anti-corruption in general. You may know, you may be aware of the fact that we are the only state in Nigeria that have a functional anti-corruption agency that is working side by side with federal anti-corruption agencies. So that is a rider to what you have said. Now, what we are, on your question of what we find out, yes, I revealed yesterday that we have a forensic analysis which suggests that the video was not cloned and it was not played by a voiceover. I have the report with us here in the commission. And apart from that, there are other circumstantial evidence that the commission considered necessary for us to investigate the matter. And before that, you may remember that when the video surfaces, at least a pressure was mounted on the commission to investigate the matter. And we told them that anybody who has a valid and valid information that will help the commission in this investigation shall come forward. And during that time, the former governor was the incumbent governor, and I was the chairman of that agency. So now we are making good of our promise now that we are investigating the matter, and at least interest group has come over to at least support the commission in its investigation. Not only the issue of video, we have a case of billions of naira that we are undertaking now. So to answer your question, we have our parts together, and we are investigating the matter, and the matter is...
Just a moment. So just to be clear, you're saying that your forensic analysis says that the video was not doctored. Just to be clear, that's what you said, yes. Right? Okay, yes. let me take this to Mr. Mohammed. I know you released a statement. The coalition of Northern Civil Society Group released a statement where you said that, you know, this is targeted at the former governor to tarnish his image, to ruin, you know, the good relationship between him and President Tinubu. But regarding this video, which surfaced in 2018. I'd like to know, did you factor that video in as well? And do you agree with the findings of the Anti-Graft Agency of Kano State on that video? Okay, well, Mr. Mohammed, I can't really hear you. In fact, I can't hear you at all. So just allow us to sort that part out, and we'll get back to you. We'll ensure that we'll get your response. So just hang on a minute while that is resolved. Well, let me take this back to Mr. Magaji. So there's a court case, particularly on that issue, and it's been referenced time and again. So how are you going on with this, even though there's a court proceedings already going on this particular case? How do you reconcile that?
Well, you see, yes, I understand the Kano EFCC. And it might interest you to know that the Attorney General of Kano State filed an application stopping EFCC from investigating the matter, which prima facie told us that the EFCC is investigating the matter. So now, what prompted the commission under my watch? I just come in not quite long ago, about 2 weeks ago. So when I come in, I told the audience that we are going to revisit this matter. That is the very first day I come back to that position, because we understand that the EFCC, when the EFCC was investigating the matter, the Kano State government under the then governor sued the EFCC to stop the EFCC from investigating the matter. So now that there is a change of button in Kano State. But before then, the commission under my watch continue with the investigation. The objective of the investigation is to make sure that this matter was not swept under the carpet. People are so curious, people are anxious to know what is happening about this issue. There was never a time when I found myself on the hot seat of either press or any other forum that people are allowed to ask questions, just like what happened yesterday, without asking me series of questions about this issue of video. And it has ridiculed the Kano State government, it has ridiculed the entire Kano State. So without investigating this matter, everybody will have people outside will have a belief that Kano sanctioned this. And the commission is giving the governor, the former governor, an opportunity to defend himself, just like what the administration of criminal justice law of Kano State says. All allegation has to be inquired. So, right.
Mr. Magaji,
yes.
Pardon me, hang on a minute. Let's speak with Mr. Mohammed now. Just to be clear, Mr. Mohammed, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, loud and clear. I can hear you.
Fantastic. So let me get your response to the question I asked you earlier. Do you agree with the outcome of, the Anti-Graft Agency's forensic analysis, according to them, about that video, which is a matter in contention? The former governor had said, well, it was cloned, but they are saying, no, it wasn't.
Well, thank you very much for having me. But you must understand right now that, like he has alluded to the fact that there is a court case presently instituted by the former governor, preventing the Kano State Anti-Graft Agency and the EFCC from investigating and pending the outcome of that particular judgment. So we had expected a situation whereby the whole thing will be put on hold. Well, but beyond that, there's something I really would want to understand. When you say corruption, corruption is a two-way thing, it's a two-way traffic. In as much that there is a receiver, there must be a giver, and there must be an initiator. You understand? I'm not an expert on forensic analysis, so I cannot go beyond that. But what I want to understand is, even look at the contents of the video itself is quite contradictory. Because here we see a scenario where you see a faceless human being, maybe you just listen to a voice, speaking to a purported picture of a governor, trying to induce him to collect gratification based on what we've seen in that video. Beyond that, you did not see the giver. So corruption is a two-way thing. You cannot just accuse a single individual of corruption without having the other aspects of the corruption, which is the giver. So, like I said, corruption is of different categories. But even going by the concept of corruption itself, corruption is what you call an unwholesome or dishonest act between a person or group of persons. So you cannot single out a particular person and accuse him of some form of corruption. So it's a two-way thing, as it is, and it will remain what it is right now. You did not see the other partner, the other party, the purported party that is involved in the corruption. So that is the reason, the cognate reason why the governor instituted that particular claim that, okay, they should put all these things on. And he still said he disagreed with whatever it is. Personally, I was not privy to be part of that panel he had yesterday at the anti-corruption body for me to look at the analysis itself. But it still remains what it is. Like I said, you cannot just accuse a single person of corruption without having the other party, because like I said, it's a two-way traffic,
right.
You know. So that alone is enough to put some kind of contradiction on the video. Yeah.
So I mean, you have said you've seen the video, and I imagine a lot of Nigerians have seen it. But I'd like you to just speak to the forensic analysis that has now been done by the anti-graft agency, and it says, contrary to what the former governor said, the video was not cloned, neither was it doctored. So, in the light of that, would you want the anti-graft agency to go ahead with the investigation to see whether he might be, you know, even let go eventually, proven guilty or otherwise, so that at least all things can move on?
Oh, well, if you look at the whole thing, you see the reason why we put out that press release yesterday, the timing of the whole process is suspect. Is whole suspect. Honorable Barrister here was the chairman of that particular commission when the video surfaced, I think in 2018. He was chairing the same committee. You understand? So if he was seen at different times countering that video himself. But beyond that, what I would want to say is, between 2018, as at the time the video emerged, surfaced rather, till this moment, nobody deemed it's appropriate, neither him nor the commission, to institute an in-depth investigation to unearth the truth behind that particular video since 2018. So, but between the time the former governor ended his tenure and now, would see a sustained attack on his own personality on a daily basis. On those sort of institutions, you know, a lot of allegations are still coming up beyond this.
Right.
You understand? So what we're looking at is the timing.
Mr. Mohammed,
yes, because we had a period. Yes.
Pardon me. Let me take this, because you raised some issues I'd like Mr. Magaji to quickly respond to because of time. So Mr. Magaji, he's raised some issues that touch on your time in that office in 2018. So please respond to that.
Okay, Kaudi, a gentleman here, my good brother, was not with me when I was there to answer questions about this video on the sideline meeting of the United Nations in New York sometimes back. So I will not be surprised. He is entitled to his own opinion, and the group too are entitled to their own opinion. But I'm here as a chairman of an executive branch of government, that is Kano State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission, an agency of government established by law with mandates enshrined by the law of the land to investigate or initiate investigation into alleged corrupt practices in the state when we have made our due diligence. So when he was saying timing, this matter, we have started investigating this matter since 2018. And I was approached then, and I was not critical to the video per se. I was asking questions that people should come forward and give us more information. You can go. Internet does not lie. The records are there to speak. We lawyers, we say the absolute facts speak for itself. So what we did was to give an opening for people to come forward with information. Right. And before that, after that, the governor himself provides circumstantial evidence. Like what he rightly says, there are two people, the giver and the taker. In that video, it's only two voices that you can hear. You can hear the voice of the governor, and you can hear the voice of the alleged contractor. Nobody knows the contractor, obviously. But here, we have a Kano, people that knows, perhaps there might be somebody which we can recognize his voice. Because if you call somebody now that knows you very well, that is familiar with your voice, even without a number that he's familiar with, or the number he knows, he can call your name.
Gentlemen, we have to anchor now. But before we go, Mr. Magaji, so are you saying you go ahead with this investigation, and do you plan to bring in the former governor for questioning?
I just signed an invitation letter for him to appear next week, because this is what the law says.
So what if he doesn't appear?
Ample and golden opportunity for him. You said?
What if he doesn't appear?
No, there is what the law provides. The law is coercive in nature. It compels obedience. The law doesn't lobby you to come and do certain things. There are procedures, and we will follow all the necessary steps to do what is needful.
Okay, clearly this is a developing story, but I'd like to thank you so much for your time, both gentlemen. Mr. Muyi Magaji is the Chairman, Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission, Kano State, as well as Mr. Abdullahi Mohammed, Secretary, Coalition of Northern Civil Society Group. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Clearly, this conversation is far from over, but thank you once again.